California. Just hearing the name evokes a sense of freedom, golden sun, and wide horizons. A state that seems sculpted by human imagination itself. A land where mountains meet the sea, where innovation and contemplation coexist, where nature thrives and culture pulses. Here, where extremes find balance. We discover not just a piece of the U.S. map, but a reflection of what humanity can be. When it embraces the new, when it welcomes diversity, history, and dreams. From the tranquility of the North to the vibrant energy of the South, California stretches like a geographical poem, where every city, road, and landscape has something to say. In this documentary, we invite you on a journey through this mesmerizing land, a deep dive into the soul of California, from north to south, where every step is an invitation to discovery. And our starting point is San Francisco, one of the most iconic and charming cities on the planet. The hills, with their cable cars gliding through the air, transport us not just to different parts of the city, but to different moments in history. Arriving in San Francisco is like stepping through a portal between past and future, between urban life and nature, between the classic and the surprising. San Francisco has personality, style, soul. It's a city of Victorian homes and tech startups, of quiet cafes and passionate protests, of scientific temples and spaces for inner silence. A city that welcomes, that respects differences, and thrives on the energy of diversity. San Francisco isn't just seen, it's felt. And to truly understand it, you must see it from another angle, from the waters that embrace it. Boarding a boat in San Francisco Bay opens a new window to the city. The sound of waves mingling with seagull cries, the salty ocean breeze, the wind on your face. The city reveals its geography and grandeur in an almost cinematic way. Its waters once carried the first ships of the gold rush, witnessed political, ecological, and cultural battles. Today, they reflect not just the bridge and the skyscrapers, but also the resilient spirit of a city that learned to embrace the new, the risky, the unexpected. The Bay is a reminder that we are always in motion, like its currents, like its tides. And so, the Bay welcomes us, envelops us, and shows us a San Francisco that exists not just in its streets, but in the vastness of its waters. Rising majestically over the entrance to San Francisco Bay, the Golden Gate Bridge is more than just a bridge, it's a symbol of human ingenuity, a work of art, and a testament to the spirit of California. More than just a transportation route, the Golden Gate Bridge is a cultural icon. It has starred in countless films, inspired poets and artists, and become a pilgrimage site for travelers. The bridge has endured earthquakes, storms, and decades of wear, yet it stands strong just like the city it serves. It's a reminder that even the boldest dreams can become reality with vision and perseverance. San Francisco Bay is more than a backdrop, it's a living entity, fed by rivers, connected to the ocean, and it shaped the city and influenced generations. Perched on a rocky outcrop in the frigid waters of San Francisco Bay, Alcatraz Island is one of America's most infamous landmarks. Known as The Rock, this former maximum security prison housed some of the nation's most notorious criminals, but its story goes far beyond bars and escape. Alcatraz isn't just a prison, it's a symbol of justice, defiance, and mystery. Whether you're drawn to its grim past, the unsolved escapes, or its role in social change, the rock leaves no visitor untouched. Despite its reputation, 36 men tried to escape in 14 attempts. Most were caught or killed. But the 1962 escape of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers remains a mystery. No bodies were found, and the FBI's case remains unsolved. Break the rules, and you go to prison. Break the prison rules, and you go to Alcatraz. Former inmate Leonard Whitey Thompson. Here nature and urban life merge, and from here, we set out to explore the city with fresh eyes, more open, more sensitive, more present. Returning to the city after the boat ride is like reuniting with an old friend in a new light. At the heart of Pier 39, a scene delights both tourists and locals alike. Dozens of seals basking in the sun. Lazuli sprawled across floating wooden platforms. They seem indifferent to the human bustle around them, yet somehow aware of their daily audience. San Francisco embraces these marine creatures with affection, as if they were part of the city's identity. The seals first appeared here in the 1990s and have since become a living, spontaneous attraction. Their vocalizations, sluggish movements, and synchronized dives bring smiles to onlookers. Originally built in 1905 as a simple cargo wharf, Pier 39 began its life as part of San Francisco's bustling industrial waterfront, handling goods like lumber, fish, and other maritime shipments. In 1977, visionary entrepreneur Warren Simmons saw potential in the dilapidated structure and transformed it into a vibrant entertainment complex, which opened to the public in October 1978. His gamble paid off. What started as an experiment in adaptive reuse became one of California's most visited attractions, blending maritime history with modern amusements in a way that captured the city's innovative spirit. Located right on Pier 39, the Aquarium of the Bay offers visitors an immersive journey through the diverse marine ecosystems of San Francisco Bay and beyond. This 65-gallon facility specializes in local aquatic life, featuring over 20,000 animals representing more than 200 species native to Northern California waters. The aquarium isn't just a tourist spot, it's a hub for education and conservation. Its work includes research, protecting endangered species, and raising awareness about marine ecosystems. A space designed to spark wonder and awareness. Stepping into its glass tunnels, you feel as if you're diving into the ocean without leaving dry land. Rays, sharks, jellyfish, and hundreds of marine species glide gracefully around you, like dancers in a silent ballet. Among its highlights, the jellyfish captivate translucent creatures that seem made of light, delicate yet resilient, mysterious yet vital to the ocean's balance. Observing marine life is also observing ourselves, realizing we're part of a complex, interdependent web. Every drop of seawater carries a story, and preserving the oceans means preserving life itself. The aquarium's most spectacular features include the breathtaking 300-foot clear acrylic tunnels, where visitors can walk surrounded by gliding bat rays, sleek leopard sharks, and shimmering schools of anchovies, all while learning about the bay's delicate ecosystem. These tunnels provide a rare diver's eye view of marine life without getting wet, making it perfect for visitors of all ages. What makes this aquarium unique is its hyper-local focus and prime waterfront location. Unlike larger aquariums that display exotic species from around the world, Aquarium of the Bay specifically celebrates the rich biodiversity found just outside its doors in the San Francisco Bay Estuary, one of North America's most important marine habitats. The connection with nature reaches new heights when we venture to Muirwoods Park. Just a few miles from San Francisco, we enter another world where silence is alive and trees touch the sky.
You'll just be walking upstream.
Muirwoods protects one of the last remaining ancient coast redwood groves in the Bay Area. These towering giants, some over 1,000 years old and reaching heights of 258 feet, 79 meters, were nearly lost to aggressive logging during California's 19th century timber boom. The forest's survival is owed to a fortunate combination of geography and early environmental activism. The rugged terrain of Redwood Canyon, too difficult for loggers to access, spared these trees, while the efforts of conservationists William Kent and his wife, Elizabeth Thacker Kent, ensured their permanent protection. In 1908, after purchasing the land to save it from development, William Kent donated 195 acres to the federal government. President Theodore Roosevelt declared it a national monument, naming it after naturalist John Muir, the famed father of the national parks, whose advocacy helped shape America's conservation movement. Long before European settlers arrived, the area was home to the Coast Miwok people, who revered the redwoods but did not harvest them, using only fallen branches for tools and baskets. The wood's modern history took a dramatic turn during the 1906 earthquake, when the destruction of San Francisco created a surge in demand for rebuilding materials, putting nearby redwoods at risk. The Kent's intervention came just in time. During World War II, Muirwoods served as a place of diplomacy. In 1945, delegates from 46 nations gathered at the park's Cathedral Grove to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. A moment that underscored the forest's symbolic role as a global sanctuary for peace and reflection. Today, Muirwoods spans 554 acres and attracts over 800,000 visitors annually. The park's carefully maintained boardwalks protect the redwood's shallow root systems, while its lack of cell service and limited parking requiring reservations since 2018 preserve the tranquility Kent envisioned. Muirwoods National Monument holds immense ecological and cultural importance as a sanctuary for coast redwoods, Sequoia sempervirens, some of the tallest and oldest living organisms on Earth. These ancient trees, which can live for over 2,000 years, serve as vital carbon sinks, helping mitigate climate change by absorbing and storing significant amounts of CO. Culturally, Muirwoods is a living monument to conservation history, honoring both the indigenous Coast Miwok people, who revered the redwoods for millennia, and early environmentalists like John Muir and William Kent, whose efforts preserved this forest for future generations. The Northern California region, where we find ourselves, is a land where calm resides. Its small coastal towns, with mild weather and generous nature, offer a pace of life that inspires. It's as if Northern California whispers constantly, "Slow down." Long before California became the Golden State, it began as a myth, quite literally. The name California first appeared in a 16th century Spanish novel called Las Sergas de Esplandian, The Adventures of Esplandian, written by Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo. In the story, California was a fantastical island ruled by a fierce black queen named Calafia. Inhabited only by strong women and mythical creatures, and rich in gold. It was described as a paradise, lying to the right of the Indies, filled with unimaginable treasures and danger. When Spanish explorers set out to the New World, they believed this legendary island might be real. In 1533, they landed on what is now Baja California and assumed they had found Queen Calafia's mythical land. The name stuck, and California eventually expanded to describe the entire western coast as it became explored and colonized. What makes this origin story fascinating is how fiction gave birth to geography. A fantasy inspired real exploration, and over time, the dreamlike aura of California continued to evolve, from gold rush dreams to Hollywood fame, from tech utopias to spiritual awakenings. In many ways, California remains what it started as, a place shaped by imagination, always just on the edge of the possible. Founded in 1853, just 4 years after the gold rush, the California Academy of Sciences is one of the oldest scientific institutions in the West. Born from a collective passion for exploration, its early members, a group of naturalists and physicians, documented California's biodiversity during an era of rapid transformation. The museum survived the 1906 earthquake and fire, though its original specimens were lost, and rebuilt itself into a beacon of resilience. In 2008, it reopened in Golden Gate Park as a groundbreaking eco-friendly structure designed by Renzo Piano. Today, it stands as both a monument to scientific heritage and a model of sustainable architecture. The Academy isn't just a museum, it's an active research powerhouse. Its scientists have discovered thousands of new species, from deep-sea corals to desert beetles, and pioneered studies in climate change, astronomy, and evolutionary biology. San Francisco's role as a scientific leader is amplified by the Academy's collaborations with Silicon Valley tech innovators and global conservation initiatives. The museum's Hope for Reefs program, for example, develops strategies to save coral ecosystems, while its urban biodiversity projects track wildlife adapting to city life. Step into the Osher Rainforest Dome at the California Academy of Sciences, and you'll be transported across 3 continents without leaving San Francisco. This 4-story, 90-foot-tall glass sphere recreates 3 distinct rainforest ecosystems: the flooded Amazon, Costa Rican cloud forests, and Madagascar's dry deciduous forests, complete with free-flying birds, butterflies, and tropical plants. The Dome isn't just an exhibit, it's part of the Academy's global conservation network. Many species here are part of breeding programs for endangered animals, while the plants demonstrate sustainable harvesting techniques used by indigenous communities. The Dome's design prevents butterflies from escaping through an ingenious air curtain. At the entrance, a constant stream of warm air that the insects won't cross. This allows visitors to walk freely through a thriving rainforest where colorful wings flutter, just inches from their faces. Since 1923, the Steinhardt Aquarium at the California Academy of Sciences has captivated visitors with its groundbreaking approach to aquatic discovery. More than just an aquarium, it's a living laboratory where cutting-edge research meets unforgettable encounters with 40,000 animals from around the globe. The aquarium pioneers coral reef restoration and studies how climate change impacts marine life. Its Science Today program lets visitors watch biologists tag sharks or test water quality in real time. The Academy embodies San Francisco's spirit of curiosity and progress by merging cutting-edge research with public education. It inspires the next generation of scientists and reminds us that exploration is never complete. As climate challenges grow, the museum's work and its mission to regenerate the natural world has never been more vital. From Silicon Valley's tech revolutions to Big Sur's spiritual awakenings, California has long been a global beacon of boundary-breaking innovation, not just in science and business, but in environmental stewardship and conscious evolution. This is where Steve Jobs meditated before designing the iPhone, where surfers and scientists alike chase sustainable energy solutions, and where ancient redwoods stand alongside quantum computing labs. California's labs and garages birthed the internet, biotechnology, and space exploration, from Hewlett-Packard's first oscillator in a Palo Alto shed to SpaceX's Mars ambitions. The state attracts 40% of U.S. venture capital, fueling AI, clean tech, and medical breakthroughs, while universities like Stanford and Caltech turn theory into world-changing applications. Here, failure fuels reinvention. The California method blends ambition with adaptability, whether it's Disney reimagining storytelling, Tesla electrifying transportation, or Napa Valley vintners combating climate change with dry farming. Even Hollywood storytelling. Alchemy reflects this mindset, narratives that shift global culture. California's laws often become global standards, from emissions regulations to plastic bans. Its solar farms, wildfire tech, and ocean conservation initiatives prove ecology and economy can thrive together. The state's redwood forests inspired the modern conservation movement, yet its labs now pioneer carbon capture and vertical farming. From Esalen Institute's Human Potential movement to Silicon Valley's mindful tech ethos, California blends ancient wisdom with modern seeking. Yoga studios neighbor AI startups, surfers study fluid dynamics, winemakers talk terroir as spiritual practice. This is where Jack Kerouac wrote Dharma manifestos, and where Burning Man's temporary city reimagines community. What makes California unique isn't just its innovations, but their unexpected intersections. A tech CEO funds coral reef restoration. A Zen master advises on algorithm ethics. A former hippie launches a billion-dollar organic empire. This is the California spirit, dreaming bigger while staying grounded, building the future while honoring the sacred. The rest of the world comes here to see tomorrow, then realizes they've discovered something deeper about today. California doesn't just adapt to change, it authors it. This is where Silicon Valley coders and Ojai mystics speak the same language of disruption. Where surfboard shapers and aerospace engineers share a reverence for fluid dynamics, and where the world's strictest environmental laws coexist with its most explosive economic growth. The Golden State's genius lies in weaving together seemingly contradictory threads into something entirely new. This is where a Stanford lab, a Venice Beach mural, and a Mendocino mushroom farm might spark the same revolution. The California spirit thrives on friction between desert and ocean, between profit and purpose, between the pragmatic and the visionary. It's not just a place, but a state of becoming, proof that the future isn't something we enter, but something we create. They said our dreams were too big, so we built bigger dreams and then the coastline to put them on. And of course, no visit to San Francisco is complete without riding one of its legendary cable cars. More than just transportation, these iconic cable cars are living pieces of the city's history. Invented in the 19th century, these cable-pulled streetcars were an ingenious solution to the city's steep hills. Today, they're a National Historic Landmark and a symbol of San Francisco. Boarding one is a journey through time. You'll hear the creak of gears, the clang of the bell, the gentle sway as you climb and descend dramatic slopes. The views are unmatched, passing Victorian homes, lamplit streets, and breathtaking bay vistas. The cable car also invites reflection on human ingenuity and sustainability. It's a transit system that marries tradition with environmental respect. Above all, it's a metaphor for life. We keep moving up and down, guided by invisible tracks, trusting the path will lead us where we need to go. Northern California holds hidden treasures in its smaller towns, where the charm of slow living meets the magic of untamed nature. Leaving San Francisco behind and following the roads along the Pacific or winding through inland forests, the pace slows and the horizon expands. Towns like Mendocino, Eureka, Redding, and Crescent City offer a calmer, more intimate Californian experience. Here, nature is woven into daily life. Locals hike at dusk, bike through pine forests, or paddle down crystal-clear rivers. There's a quietude in their gestures, a sense of belonging. The air is crisp, the sky vast, and time seems to move to a different rhythm. In these small towns, everyday life invites contemplation. The architecture is simple and welcoming. Shops feel like family. Cafes smell of freshly baked pies, and neighbors greet each other with warmth. Nature here is a constant presence, shaping both lifestyle and collective imagination. The northern coast is carved by dramatic cliffs and wild beaches, while state parks shelter ancient redwood forests, trails weaving past waterfalls and lookout points. Among the region's natural wonders is Tahoe Mountain Resorts, a year-round playground blending adventure and awe. Straddling the Nevada border, Lake Tahoe is one of the largest and purest alpine lakes in the U.S., framed by mountains that transform with the seasons. In winter, snow blankets the landscape, turning resorts into a skier's paradise. Slopes range from beginner to expert, and competitions draw elite athletes and enthusiasts alike. The crunch of skis on powder, the sting of cold air, and the vast white expanse create an unmatched sense of freedom. When the snow melts, Tahoe's mountains morph into an adventure park. Hiking and mountain biking take center stage, with chairlifts ferrying riders to peaks for heart-pounding descents. Every turn reveals valleys, lakes, and forests, a dance between body and terrain. Resorts offer top-notch safety and comfort, but the real magic lies in immersion, the raw power of nature reminding us of our own resilience. Mountain sports here aren't just thrills, they're a spiritual reset, fueled by crisp high-altitude air and the joy of pushing limits. Beyond adventure, Tahoe pulses with culture-cozy fireside restaurants, open-air festivals, and spas under starry skies. Environmental stewardship shines too. With reforestation projects and clean energy initiatives, Tahoe proves tourism and preservation can coexist, whether through mountain silence, trail sweat, or the mirror-like glow of dawn on the lake. Visitors leave transformed, recharged, clearer, grateful. We were born with fire in our muscles and storm in our lungs, long before cities penned us in. Before screens flattened our horizons, humans raced across savannas, scaled cliffs with bare hands, and danced with avalanches. Radical sports are not rebellion, they are remembrance. When a surfer leans into a 30-foot wave, when a wingsuit flyer becomes a bullet of flesh and courage, when a free soloist trusts fingertips to granite, they are speaking in the mother tongue of our species. This is not about adrenaline. This is about aliveness. The cliff doesn't care if you live. That's why it teaches truth, the sacred geometry of fear. How a skateboarder's ollie mirrors Neolithic hunters leaping crevices. The physics of trust. Why falling teaches us more than flying. Bodies as compasses. Parkour athletes rediscovering urban jungles as ancestral terrain. Deep water soloing when the ocean becomes both opponent and altar. The lies of safety. Modern life's padded edges versus the razor-honed present of big mountain skiing. Why controlled danger inoculates against existential despair. Pain is the ink. The body writes its revelations with the shaman's dive. Freedivers' mammalian dive reflex as evolutionary memory. How hypoxia births visions from Arctic pearl divers to competitive apnea. Frost as crucible. Ice climbers tracing silver veins in glaciers, the last cathedrals. Frostbite and transcendence. What Shackleton knew that CEOs forget. The algebra of flow. Big wave surfers calculating liquid mountains in microseconds. Why extreme athletes experience time dilation like meditating monks. We rope together not for safety, but to weave a net for each other's souls. Base jumpers' last rites, the ritual of packing a parachute, modern-day prayer beads. How the dead are mourned through leaps rather than graves. Dirtbag saints, Yosemite's climbing bivouacs as 21st century monasteries. The untold ethics of sharing water on El Capitan's Dawn Wall. The queendom of swell. Mavericks female surfers rewriting testosterone myths. How pregnant big wave riders feel the ocean's double heartbeat. Every avalanche teaches the same lesson. You are guest, not conqueror. Snow as scripture. Backcountry skiers reading slope angles like monastic scribes. Why the best alpinists smell weather changes before instruments do. Desert as confessional, ultramarathoners hallucinating ancestors in Death Valley. Sand as the original philosopher's stone. The surrender paradox. How kayakers surviving Class 6 rapids. Learn to stop paddling. The Buddhist truth in wipeouts. Sometimes you must become the wave. We will keep chasing storms because they chase us first. These sports are not escapes from life, they are lived life at its densest. When the wingsuit flyer pulls her chute at the last possible second, when the slackliner takes one more step into the void, they are signing the oldest contract. I will die, but not today. And this edge, this is where I feel most human. The moment comes, and the adrenaline too. Your heart races before your body even moves. The world's sharpened sounds become crystalline. The air hums against your skin like a warning. This is when time bends. When seconds stretch like rubber bands about to snap, you stop thinking, you feel. Your fingers tighten around the grip. Your breath sinks to the rhythm of the wind, the waves, the void below your feet. Every cell in your body wakes up, electrified, as if remembering some ancient code written in lightning. This isn't fear, it's focus, distilled to its purest form. The horizon tilts, the ground falls away, and for one suspended heartbeat, you're not fighting gravity, you're dancing with it. Then launch. Muscles become pistons. The world blurs at the edges. You're not a person anymore, your velocity. Trajectory, a comet of flesh and will. The wind screams in your ears, but beneath it, there's something else, a silence so deep it roars. This is where instinct takes the wheel, where calculations turn to poetry, where the body knows things the mind hasn't had time to name. Impact comes whether it's wheels hitting concrete, skis biting ice, or water slamming your ribs like a lover's punch. Pain flickers, then dissolves into the high, because now you're flying, now you're free. Now you remember what they've tried to civilize out of you, that risk is just another word for being alive. The crowd gasps, but you're already gone chasing the next edge, the next rush, the next truth only the brave get to touch again. as if nature itself lent them its strength. And then comes sunset, that golden light draping the California coast like a spell. In silence, we watch the sun graze the ocean, a final caress for the day. Waves catch the light, shimmering in a fleeting dance. The sky shifts orange to pink, purple to deep blue, a silent spectacle that speaks straight to the soul. In this moment, everything stills. Thoughts slow. Worries dissolve. Just the sun, the sea, and the certainty of being alive. There are places in this world that defy description, where beauty is not just seen but felt, where the air itself seems to hum with a quiet, ancient power. Lake Tahoe is one of those places. Nestled high in the Sierra Nevada, cradled by snow-capped peaks and emerald forests, this alpine jewel is more than a destination, it's a state of wonder. From the moment you first glimpse Tahoe's waters, a liquid sapphire so clear you can see 70 feet down, you understand why the Washoe people considered it sacred. The lake doesn't just sparkle. It glows, shifting from cobalt to turquoise under the sun's gaze. By dawn, mist curls off its surface like dragon's breath. By noon, it mirrors the sky so perfectly that kayakers seem to paddle through clouds. And at sunset, the entire basin becomes a forge of molten gold and violet, the water swallowing the last light like a dream. So we say thank you, Tahoe, for the cold morning swims that shocked us awake, for the trails that led us to vistas we'll never forget, for reminding us that life, like your waters, is deepest where it's clearest. The road ahead calls, but part of us will always remain here, suspended in your blue embrace. Onward we go, lighter and brighter, because we've touched paradise, and paradise has touched us back. Nestled in the heart of Northern California, Napa Valley is a region that whispers elegance, history, and flavor in every breeze that rustles through its vineyards. Just an hour's drive from the bustling rhythm of San Francisco, the landscape opens into rolling hills covered in perfectly aligned grapevines. As if nature itself had learned the art of symmetry, the air carries the scent of earth, wood, and fermentation, a gentle reminder that time, patience, and care can produce something truly extraordinary. Napa Valley is not just about wine. It's about the relationship between the land and those who cultivate it. It's about tradition, experimentation, and a deep respect for the process. Here, wine is both craft and culture, an experience that engages all the senses. Driving through Napa is a journey of calm and awe. Wineries line the roads like chapters of a long, delicious story. Each estate has its own personality, its own vision of what wine can be. Some are historic, with century-old stone buildings shaded by towering oaks. Others are modern, minimalist, architectural marvels designed to blend with the landscape and reflect the simplicity of nature. But all share a common philosophy, that great wine begins in the vineyard. The soil of Napa Valley is rich with volcanic ash, marine sediment, and minerals that have accumulated over millennia. These elements, combined with the region's warm days and cool nights, create the ideal conditions for cultivating grapes with depth, complexity, and balance. Among the most iconic wineries is Rutherford Hill, perched on a gentle slope with a panoramic view of the valley. Known for its deep, velvety merlots, Rutherford Hill offers tours that take visitors from the vines to the barrel caves, where the scent of aging wine fills the cool air. Here you learn not only about the grape varietals, but about the art of barrel aging, the science of fermentation, and the subtle decisions that make each vintage unique. Walking through the vineyard rows at sunset, with golden light filtering through the leaves, you begin to understand that wine is a reflection of its place, its people, and the moment in which it was made. The history of winemaking in Napa is a story of resilience, curiosity, and evolution. While vines were first planted here by Spanish missionaries in the 18th century, it wasn't until the mid-1900s that Napa began to gain international recognition. A pivotal moment came in 1976 with the now legendary Judgment of Paris wine competition, where Californian wines triumphed over French labels in a blind tasting. That victory placed Napa Valley firmly on the global wine map and inspired a new generation of vintners to innovate, expand, and pursue excellence. Today, the region is home to over 400 wineries, from small family-owned operations to large, globally distributed brands. Yet despite its fame, Napa has managed to preserve its authenticity, its quiet roads, its friendly pace, its deep-rooted connection to the land. Winemaking itself is both ancient and modern. Grapes are handpicked at peak ripeness, sorted meticulously, then pressed and fermented with precision. Oak barrels, French, American, sometimes even Hungarian, are chosen for the flavors they impart. The aging process can take months or years, depending on the wine's profile and purpose. Every step is guided by both science and intuition. Winemakers speak of listening to the wine, of knowing when to intervene and when to let nature take its course. There's poetry in that, a kind of dance between human intention and the will of the earth. Curiously, wine isn't just a matter of taste. It's tied to memory, mood, and even biology. The scent of a wine can trigger emotional recollections, a summer evening, a family gathering, a trip once taken. Studies show that moderate wine consumption, particularly red wine rich in resveratrol, may offer health benefits for the heart and brain. Wine, when approached with mindfulness, becomes more than indulgence. It becomes ritual, a moment of grounding, of presence, a way to connect with yourself and others. Another gem in the valley is Chimney Rock Winery. With its Cape Dutch-inspired architecture and reputation for producing powerful, structured Cabernet Sauvignons, a visit to Chimney Rock is a feast for the senses. You can stroll among the vines, learn about the nuances of terroir, and participate in guided tastings that reveal the layers of flavor and aroma in each glass. Lunch is served outdoors under the shade of olive trees, with views stretching across endless hillsides. The experience is intimate, personal, and deeply rooted in the idea that wine brings people together, round tables, in conversation, in celebration. Beyond the vineyards, Napa Valley has embraced its identity as a cultural and culinary destination. Michelin-starred restaurants source their ingredients from local farms, creating menus that harmonize with the wines of the region. Art galleries, sculpture gardens, and music festivals add texture to the valley's rhythm. Wellness retreats and spas offer quietude, inviting visitors to slow down and reconnect with themselves. And everywhere, there's a sense of graciousness, a feeling that you've arrived in a place where life is savored, not rushed, where pleasure is elevated to a way of living. This state, which combines lush nature with cutting-edge technology, has a unique essence that reflects a constant pursuit of the future. brought into the present in ways that inspire the entire world. One of the first destinations for any traveler in California is undoubtedly Disneyland, located in Anaheim. Disneyland was the first of many creations by Walt Disney. Inaugurated in 1955, it was created with the mission of being a place where both children and adults could dream. Disneyland has become a global pop culture icon and a symbol of magic and fantasy. The experience is immersive, with themed attractions, parades, and enchanting characters. It becomes a true haven of joy and nostalgia. But Disneyland is more than just an amusement park. It represents the Californian spirit of innovation and imagination. Moreover, its importance goes beyond entertainment, as it attracts millions of tourists every year, boosting the local economy and contributing to the development of California's tourism and leisure sector. California has always been a land of innovation and experimentation. Since the early decades of the 20th century, the state began attracting those who sought to break away from established conventions and create something new. A spirit that remains palpable to this day. When we talk about California today, we cannot ignore how it weaves together the past, present, and future, reflected across its landscape and society. It demonstrates a deep connection with the environment, well-being, and innovation in all aspects. No discussion about California is complete without mentioning Disney, one of the state's and the world's greatest cultural influences. Disney is not just an entertainment company. It is a global cultural icon responsible for shaping generations through its stories and characters. Since the founding of Disneyland in Anaheim in 1955, Disney has introduced a new concept of fun and adventure, creating an empire that transcended borders and became synonymous with magic and dreams. Its films, theme parks, and franchises continue to influence global culture, creating a loyal and passionate fan base. California, with its vast landscapes and cultural complexity, has always been ahead of its time. Its essence is defined by a disruptive personality that transcends the conventional and is reflected in every facet of its society, from the arts and culture to technological, innovation and environmental practices. The state is not merely a fusion of natural and urban elements. It is a continuous reinterpretation of the future, brought into the present in an immediate way. California is not just a place, it's an idea, a pursuit of innovation without losing connection to nature. Boundless creativity and a constant movement toward well-being and sustainability. The theme park not only introduced a new form of entertainment, but also transformed how people experience fairy tales and beloved characters. Disney is not just part of California's cultural fabric. It changed how the world views entertainment, creating a platform for some of the most important films and characters in pop culture. Since the early 20th century, California has been synonymous with change, innovation, and experimentation. The city of Los Angeles, in particular, represents the heart of this cultural and creative revolution. It's no surprise that Hollywood, the epicenter of global entertainment, emerged here, becoming the world capital of film production. But California is not just about Hollywood. It's a place where reinvention is constantly taking shape in the most diverse fields. While many parts of the world struggle to maintain traditions, California looks ahead, constantly questioning social and cultural conventions. This spirit of innovation is reflected in its film industry, arts, lifestyle, and especially in how Californians approach environmental issues, health, and education. California doesn't just set trends, it redefines how we view the future while embracing nature. California is a melting pot of creativity, where the arts flourish and new forms of cultural expression are constantly challenged and redefined. California also has a unique relationship with surfing, being one of the birthplaces of the sport. Though surfing originated in Hawaiian beaches, it was in California that it gained worldwide popularity, especially during the 1950s and 1960s. Cities like Huntington Beach, Santa Cruz, and Malibu became global surf centers, attracting surfers from around the world. Surfing is more than a sport. It's a fundamental part of California's identity, reflecting a laid-back lifestyle and love for nature. The state is home to some of the world's most important surf competitions, and the surfer has become an iconic figure in local culture, representing adventurous spirit and connection to the ocean. Surf's influence in California goes beyond the beaches, shaping music, fashion, and even design. Moreover, surfing has become a way to raise environmental awareness, as many surfers are active advocates for ocean preservation. More than a sport, surfing is a form of meditation in motion. The direct connection with the ocean and nature allows practitioners to not only improve their technique, but also release stress, connecting mind and body with the surrounding environment. This sport mirrors what Californians seek: a more connected, mindful, and relaxed lifestyle, where daily stress is softened by the power of nature. California is also known for its strong emphasis on healthy, natural food. With one of the largest organic food markets in the world, the state is a pioneer in promoting plant-based diets and fresh, organic foods. Major Californian cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco boast a vibrant food scene that celebrates health and sustainability. Restaurants that serve dishes made with local, organic, and seasonal ingredients are common, reflecting a growing awareness of the importance of consuming food that's good for both the body and the planet. The philosophy of eating locally is highly valued in California, as seen in the popularity of farmers' markets and the growing presence of vegan and vegetarian options. Additionally, many of the world's leading organic food brands, such as H Foods, were born in California. Helping drive a food revolution that impacts not only the state, but the world. In California, wellness is at the center of everyday life. The state is known for its holistic approach to health, combining a healthy diet, meditation, and spiritual practices aimed at reconnecting with body and mind. Encinitas is not just a city, it's a breath. A quiet inhale of ocean air, and a long, mindful exhale that seems to drift with the tides. Nestled along the northern coast of San Diego County, this coastal town holds within it something rare and sacred. Here, the rhythm of life slows, the waves break with intention, and the spirit feels held. It was in Encinitas that a seed of the East was first planted in Western soil. Meditation, with deep roots in Eastern culture, found fertile ground in California. The practice is associated with numerous health benefits, such as stress reduction, improved concentration, and increased well-being. In 1937, Paramahansa Yogananda founded the Self-Realization Fellowship Ashram. A place where meditation met the sea and ancient wisdom found a new home. His legacy transformed Encinitas into the first Western city to formally welcome Eastern meditation, a bridge between hemispheres, built not with stone, but with silence and presence. Studies show that regular meditation can lower cortisol, the stress hormone levels. In many Californian communities, meditation and yoga retreats are common, emphasizing mindfulness and the pursuit of balance. In California, meditation is more than a practice. It's a lifestyle aimed at restoring harmony between body and mind, helping to improve both physical and emotional health. In a society obsessed with progress and productivity, California has found a unique balance by promoting wellness practices like meditation, yoga, and mindfulness. Meditation is not just a trend, it is a way of life. California is also the birthplace of many of the most transformative technologies of the 21st century. Silicon Valley, located in the southern region of the San Francisco Bay Area, is considered the global epicenter of technological innovation. It is here that companies like Apple, Google, Facebook, and Tesla emerged, transforming how we communicate, work, and interact with the world. The energy of Silicon Valley represents California's visionary and daring mindset, a state that not only welcomes innovation but nurtures it. It is not by chance that California attracts minds from all over the planet, scientists, entrepreneurs, designers, and programmers who find in this environment fertile ground for turning dreams into reality. Beyond technology, California also leads environmental innovation. The state has some of the strictest environmental protection policies in the United States, with investments in clean energy, forest conservation, and sustainable mobility. California is a pioneer in implementing electric vehicle incentive policies, renewable energy production, and reducing carbon emissions. Tesla, one of the world's leading electric vehicle manufacturers, is headquartered in California. In addition, the state is filled with ecological communities and cities that adopt sustainable practices as part of daily life. This reflects the state's commitment to the future, not just in technology, but in creating a habitable and balanced planet. All of this reinforces that California is much more than just beaches and movies. It is a stage of transformation where health, innovation, sustainability, and creativity coexist in harmony. It's where past and future meet in the present, redefining the way we live. Venice Beach is not just a destination, it's a stage, a living, breathing canvas painted with the eccentric, the athletic, the visionary, and the free. Born from a dream and raised on the edge of the Pacific, Venice has always danced to its own rhythm. It is where Southern California loosens its collar, kicks off its shoes, and lets its soul play under the sun. As you walk down the Venice boardwalk, you feel it immediately, the pulse, the unexpected. A street performer juggles fire while quoting Rumi. A skateboarder defies gravity on sun-warmed concrete. Painters, musicians, mystics, and muscle-bound athletes all share the same stretch of ocean air, bound together not by similarity, but by shared space and a fierce individuality. This place was imagined over a century ago as the Venice of America, complete with canals and gondolas. Today, some of those canals remain serene and reflective, tucked behind vibrant homes, but the heartbeat of Venice pulses louder by the sea. Muscle Beach, with its iconic outdoor gym, still echoes with the clang of iron and the grunt of effort. Here, body and will are sculpted in public view, a celebration of human potential. But Venice is more than spectacle. It's a philosophy, a refusal to conform, a sanctuary for those who color outside the lines. The murals on every wall are not just art, they're declarations of struggle, of identity, of freedom. Every spray-painted image is a story. Every crack in the pavement holds a poem. Surfboards lean against fences, yoga mats unfurl at sunrise, and the scent of salt and street tacos mingles in the air. There's a timelessness here, a sense that nothing is rushed, and yet everything is alive. Hollywood is not just a place, it is a myth made tangible. A constellation of dreams, stitched into the hills of Los Angeles, echoing across generations. Here, sidewalks are etched with names not merely for fame, but as monuments to stories that have shaped the human soul. The Hollywood Walk of Fame is not a tourist attraction. It is a temple of archetypes, a galaxy of lives turned into legend. They gaze up from their stars, not as distant icons, but as parts of us, reflections of our fears, our laughter, our longing. Because in Hollywood, stories don't just entertain, they explain us to ourselves. This is where the silent films first flickered, where the golden age rose like a phoenix, and where cinema evolved into a global language. Beverly Hills, two words that shimmer like sunlight on polished marble. A city that is less a municipality and more a symbol of wealth, of beauty, of aspiration sculpted into stucco and stone. To walk through Beverly Hills is to enter a curated dream. Gardens are manicured to perfection. Homes resemble palaces, and every corner offers the illusion that anything is possible. Rodeo Drive is its own theater, a promenade of luxury, where window shopping becomes performance art. Gucci, Chanel, Cartier, names that promise not just fashion, but identity. But rodeo is not only about the price tag, it's about possibility, the invitation to enter a fantasy, even if only for a few blocks. Beverly Hills grew not by chance but by design. It was carved into being by visionaries who saw more than land, they saw possibility. The film industry soon followed, and with it came stars who sought refuge from the flashbulbs and the chaos. Homes that would become legendary: Chaplin, Pickford, Sinatra. An era in which dreams are not merely utopias, but real possibilities when lived with awareness, creativity, and connection. And that is why California continues to inspire. Not only because of its scenic beauty or its technological innovation, but because of its ability to create bridges between what we were, what we are, and what we can become. California is a mirror of a new era. If you can imagine it, you can become it. But Hollywood is also a mirror. A place where dreams meet discipline, where brilliance is born from repetition. There's a deep movement of self-knowledge here, where ancient philosophies meet new tools for personal and collective evolution. Universal Studios is more than just a theme park, it's the birthplace of dreams, legends, and some of the most iconic stories ever told on screen. Founded in 1912 by Carl Laemmle, Universal is one of the oldest and most influential film studios in the world. What began as a modest production company evolved into a cinematic empire that helped shape the very identity of Hollywood. The studio's early days were marked by silent films and innovation. In 1915, Universal opened its doors to the public with the first ever studio tour, inviting people to watch movie magic unfold in real time. It was a revolutionary concept, one that transformed filmmaking from a mysterious process into a shared spectacle. Visitors paid 25 cents to witness scenes being shot, stars in action, and the behind-the-scenes workings of the silver screen. Throughout the decades, Universal Studios became home to unforgettable classics from the monster films of the 1930s like Dracula, Frankenstein, and The Mummy, to blockbusters like Jaws, E.T., Back to the Future, and Jurassic Park. These weren't just movies, they were cultural phenomena. They introduced new special effects, new storytelling techniques, and new stars that would go on to define generations. Today, Universal Studios Hollywood remains a working film studio and a world-renowned theme park. The studio tour, still a highlight, takes visitors behind the scenes of real sets, sound stages, and iconic locations like Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives or the Crash Site from War of the Worlds. It's an immersive journey through Hollywood history where fiction meets reality. Beyond the tour, the park offers thrilling attractions based on Universal's biggest films. You can battle Decepticons in Transformers, The Ride 3D, escape a raptor in Jurassic World, The Ride, or explore the wizarding world of Harry Potter, complete with Hogwarts Castle and Butterbeer. These rides aren't just entertaining, they're storytelling experiences, using technology, art, and emotion to make you feel like you've stepped inside the movie. But the true importance of Universal Studios lies in its role as a cultural incubator. It has discovered, shaped, and elevated countless Hollywood legends, from directors like Steven Spielberg and Alfred Hitchcock to stars like Tom Cruise, Julia Roberts, and Vin Diesel. Universal has been a launchpad for creative minds and a symbol of cinematic possibility. In many ways, Universal Studios represents the beating heart of Hollywood. It honors the past while embracing the future. It preserves film history while pushing the boundaries of what's possible in storytelling. And for millions who visit each year, it reminds us that behind every great movie is a place where imagination runs wild, and that place is Universal. Here, storytelling isn't just a profession, it's a legacy. Universal is also a pioneer in expanding the magic of cinema beyond Hollywood. With theme parks in Orlando, Japan, Singapore, and Beijing, Universal has taken its universe to the world. These parks are not mere copies, they're cultural bridges, allowing people from different nations to step into shared stories, connect with global characters, and feel the power of storytelling across borders. In essence, Universal Studios is more than entertainment, it's an invitation to dream bigger, to imagine further, to step beyond the curtain and into a world where anything is possible. It tells every visitor, every viewer, and every storyteller, your imagination is welcome here. From the towering white letters on the hills to the hush of a soundstage, Hollywood speaks a dialect of desire. It has always promised not just success, but transformation. It says, where behind the spotlight are countless hours of writing, rehearsing, risking. The stars we admire did not simply appear, they were forged. Scene by scene, through rejection and resilience. In that, there's something deeply human. The archetypal journey of the hero faced with trials. Crossing thresholds, returning changed is not just a plot. It's a path we all walk, in our own ways. And so, people come here, from all over the world. Drawn by something more than fame, they come seeking voice, identity, validation. They come with scripts in hand and stars in their eyes. Some find the role. Others find themselves. Because Hollywood doesn't just create actors, it awakens the part of us that longs to be seen, heard, remembered. The red carpets, the flashing cameras, the gilded theaters, they are rituals, symbols of something primal, our need to tell stories and to be transformed by them. From Shakespearean echoes to Marvel epics, from tear-stained dramas to joyful musicals, this is the shrine of imagination. And beyond the screen, there's a deeper truth. Hollywood is not perfect. It is messy, flawed, evolving. But so are we. And in that reflection, there is connection. We cheer when the underdog wins. We cry when love is lost. We dream when the credits roll. Hollywood may be made of lights and lenses, but its real power lies in what it reveals, the infinite capacity of the human spirit to envision, to express, and to become. California is more than a place, it's a state of mind. From the gold rush to the tech boom, this land has always been a magnet for dreamers, rebels, and pioneers who refuse to accept the world as it is. Here, the horizon isn't just a boundary, it's an invitation. What defines California isn't just its sun-drenched coasts or towering redwoods, but its relentless curiosity. It's where the impossible is questioned, tested, and often redefined, whether in a Silicon Valley garage, a Hollywood studio, or a desert music festival. This is where the future whispers first. Santa Barbara is where the California coastline meets elegance, tranquility, and timeless charm. Nestled between the Pacific Ocean and the Santa Ynez Mountains, this coastal gem is often called the American Riviera, and with good reason. Its Mediterranean climate, red-tiled rooftops, and palm-lined shores evoke a sense of peace and refinement found in few other places. Gliding across the glassy waters of Santa Barbara's coastline by kayak feels like entering a secret dialogue between ocean and earth. The Pacific here doesn't just sparkle, it breathes. With every paddle stroke, the rhythm of the waves becomes your heartbeat, and the horizon stretches endlessly, blurring the line between sea and sky. This is where the wild comes to greet you. Sea lions sunbathe on buoy platforms, their barks echoing like laughter across the waves. Pelicans dive bomb for breakfast in synchronized splashes, while curious dolphins often surface alongside kayaks, their sleek bodies cutting through swells with effortless grace. Beneath your boat, the kelp forests sway like underwater redwoods, sheltering Garibaldi fish that dart through emerald shafts of light. To be in California is to understand that beauty is not just in the landscape, but in how the state creates a model of coexistence between nature and technology, between past and future, between individual well-being and collective consciousness. This harmony is what makes California one of the most inspiring places on the planet. In a world where cities are becoming more chaotic and distant from nature, California shows that it is possible to live in urban centers while maintaining a deep connection with the environment. This ability to unite opposites, tradition and innovation, technology and spirituality, nature and progress, is what truly makes California a unique place. It is not surprising that this state is also a spiritual and artistic refuge for many. California is one of the places that most attracts seekers, people who explore paths of inner transformation. So, yes, we can call California the land of transformation. See you in our next documentary.